Hello and welcome to my second video. In this video we're going to go back to the basics. I've been doing research for years and always use a basic format to ensure that I get as much information as possible with my searches. It doesn't matter how experienced you are, it's always good to have a process, and in this video I will share mine with you. Right, back we go, with our main purpose being to gather the ingredients to grow your tree. We will need seeds, water, soil, shelter. This is like the basic information that we need to collect, translated into information like names, dates, and places. Talk and interview with your living relatives. If you are psychic, you can talk to your ancestors. Then try that too. Mine are very stubborn and don't give me the information that I need. Any family stories that you've got flying around, skeletons in the closet, you'll be surprised how many family stories and skeletons will have a hint of the truth in them. Very important. Keeping meticulous records is hugely important. It makes life super easy. If you need, start a diary for only genealogy. At the end of each day, write down what you did, who you spoke to, and what you found. If you didn't work on it that day, simply put in a date entry and say, no work done today. This is my record log. I've got the date, the name of ancestor, the database, search type, record type, results, evidence type, and whether I've proven it. There are many different types of records that we can find besides birth, marriage, and death records, documents that have information recorded in some form or another that can be surprisingly interesting, like diaries or photos, old school records, newspapers, and immigration records. Others are more traditional, like your census, baptismal, confirmation, and even confession registers. Also look for church attendance, military records, trade and occupation, land records, and family Bibles. Once you have the information, I would start off with selecting one ancestor at a time, logging into FamilySearch.org. This is run by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and is totally free. You can create an account with them and start off your basic search there. They have, as at the end of 2022, 16.3 billion records and images from all over the world. Not all the images have been transcribed. This is ongoing and done by volunteers, so look through the images as well. Type in the names, the place lived, and the birth year if you have it, and click on search. Be aware of the results that you receive, as they could be misleading. Here is an example. I've put in Vincent van Gogh, Netherlands, and no dates. I found many records for Vincent van Gogh, and some that were contradicting each other. It is important to remember to dig further and not take the information provided at face value. So here we have two Vincents with the same parents. One died on the 27th of July 1856 and the other on the 26th of July 1856. One was aged 0 and another one was aged 9 weeks. One record shows that it has an image of the record, but the other record does not. Note also the data repositories that hold the collections you are looking at. The first one is from the Netherlands, Noord-Holland Civil Registrations, 1811 to 1950. And the third one down is from the Netherlands, Deaths and Burials. On reviewing the image, I find that some of the primary information that I need. His father and a witness appeared before the official at the Civil Registration Office and gave the declaration. Here it shows the date that he appeared. the date and time Vincent died on the 27th of July 1856, before noon at 4:30, as well as Vincent's age of 9 weeks. When I review the other entry, it shows that we can view the original document. So just because it shows on the main page that there is no image, there could be one. In this case, it was the same image. Remember that there are two repositories that we are looking at. So here somebody transcribed the age as 0 years, whilst remember on the other record they transcribed it at 9 weeks. The image also gives the occupation, age, and place of residence of both the father and the witness. This Vincent died on the 27th. The record was created on the 28th. It also lists his mother. The document is signed by the official, his father, and the witness. Again, be aware that we are using two data repositories, even though the image is the same. Now we get to the good part. Here is where we need to sort out the good information from the bad. From the information that you have gathered, you need to decide what is true, what do you have evidence for, what is questionable, where you don't have any evidence. You get two types of evidence, actually more, but the main ones are primary or secondary. Primary means that it is first-hand. So for example, your marriage. You were there when it happened. You signed the certificate. A primary source gives you the information on the person you are researching. For example, your marriage, birth, or death certificates. A secondary source is, for example, can be a written source in a non-official document, such as a letter from a friend advising you of their uncle's marriage. It interprets a primary source. Another example, a census record, would be the primary source for the place and residence or even occupation of that person, but the birth date would be seen as a secondary source. The reason for this is that the information could have been given by another person, for example, a grandmother, housekeeper, or cousin. It could have been written by the census taker if no one could write in the house, and the census takers are humans like us and make mistakes. This is seen as oral history and seen as incomplete. Let us start adding all information to your spreadsheet. I color code while I work, so everything that I'm 100% sure of is in green, and everything that I'm not sure of, I color the cell in a light orange. Once you have this information together, then you can set about further defining your objectives. You might have many objectives after doing this, but it is important to have these so that you have a plan. I tend to follow BSOs, also known as bright shiny objects, and find myself doing 30 different things instead of what I was planning to do. This method might take me a while longer to get a result of my objective, but in many cases I find that the additional and interesting information that I can record and use at a later stage. Bright shiny objects. More on that in another video. Using something similar to my spreadsheet, I use one column for each person and add tabs and start making lists. Lists of surnames, maiden names, places, of villages, occupations, and all other kinds of lists that I can think of that will help me in my research. So let me know in the comments if you need any help, and I will set a video up for this. Create a tab of all the documents you have for each person. What I do with my lists is I tend to keep all my dad's side of the family in blue and my mom's side in pink. I know it's very basic, but it keeps them separate and on the same sheet. Once that is done, you can always have a look at the sheet to see what you have straight away without having to dig for the original document. Here's a tippy trick. Another thing that I like to do is go to this website, the Deutsche Handschrift.de. It'll be in my links below. This website has saved me many hours. Although it is in German and uses German scripts, I found it to help me on scripts for Eastern Europe and in other languages. you can right-click on the page and get Google to translate it to English. This tool is a font generator for scripts, which is nice about this is that there are 8 different fonts. Here I've typed my name and clicked on 5 of the different fonts and see how different they all are. It helps a lot when reading old script, trying to decipher letters and words, or it could scare you away from hurting your eyes and brains and leaving this to someone else, in which case feel free to hire me. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Right, we are at the end of planting and watering. Are you inspired? Are you gearing up for the hunt? Let me know in the comments or email me. Please feel free to subscribe, hit the bell and leave comments. Thank you so much for your time.